Hello, Lego peeps. Really don't have everything 100% set up the way I want it, but we're going to try and work through it. Lego Joe, Yo-Yo, and Brick Sargent. How are you guys doing? Today, what I want to be working on is, I showed this right before I went live a little bit ago, and I've been playing around with some ideas, trying to work on various skyscrapers that I want to build. And you know what? Give me 1 second, because I want this camera over here. The reason I want this camera over here is because this is where my chat room is, so I can see what you guys are saying, and it's a lot easier for me to actually talk this way. Hopefully you had some good news today, Steve. Aaron Delilo, hey, how you doing? Stargazer, hello, hello. Got to get the build lights going. Anyway, one of the first things I want to point out to you guys, though, real quickly, and Aaron says he's looking forward to this build, with the train track, because I want to show you how I actually have this laid out. I've got 2 rows of track that I'm doing, and Brick Sargent, that is so kind of you. Thank you. Brick Sargent says, cool, and just donated $2. Very awesome of you. Thank you again, Brick Sargent. I'm glad to hear you're doing good as well, Aaron. And hello, Raymond Diaz to Amarillo, Texas. Kip Hoffman, fellow Funny Farm, R. Claxton. You have been a member for 8 months, and thank you so much for your membership, my friend. The thing I was going to say, though, is if you look at this, this is how the track actually is. And let me just kind of tilt this if I can, and I'm going to change a few things as I go along here. But you have it on both the back and the front, and that's because this is going to be the wall on both the back and the front. And one of the things the reason I'm showing you guys this, because I really want to, oh, okay, well, at least you know you're still there this week anyway, so that's a bonus, I think, I hope, responding to Steve. But the thing I wanted to point out with this is when you're working with train track, because I've done various buildings with train tracks, and as long as you're on the outside curve, you can always place 4x4s next to each other and run it all the way around to make a wall. Just to show you, there's the wall on the outside curve. So you can always, always, always use 1x4s to run along the outside curve. But this is where building with train track gets a little difficult. Hey, Swaney, how you doing? And I hope I said your name correctly. When you come into the inside track, I just want to show you, you can't put them side by side because of the angle. So what you have to do is what I'm doing here. You have to switch it up on your insides, just trying to show you. And every other one you can do a 4, and then you have to go down to a 3. But there's more to it than just that, because in order to get that centered, I'm just wanting to try and show you guys, because I want you to understand the technique that I kind of have going here. You have to use a jumper plate, and that jumper plate is what centers it. So you have a jumper plate in the bottom that you're putting your stack on top of, and then when I get to the top, I place a jumper plate on top of that as well. I'm glad to hear your screen came back, Stargazer. But that's kind of the little trick. And I'm double checking my internet to make sure that everybody could see that. That's kind of the little trick, though, that you have to use to do intricate builds like this. And it is a bit part intensive. I'll be the first to say that. But, and Macro Bricks, how are you, my friend? And hello, Arc Trooper Studios and Cyberbricks87. How are you doing as well? But that's kind of part of the trick. Now, one of the things I was kind of looking at doing, just to, like I said, I want to play with a few different ideas, is I was also debating on going with dark gray on the ends. And then I was almost even thinking about maybe changing this up or this up with a dark gray, because I feel like I need a color pop, and I don't want something too vibrant. Let me grab gray just to kind of swap that out because I'm still kind of playing with things. And Macro was asking, good to know, Daryl, and great day to you, and great day to you as well, my friend, and I hope you're doing good. Anyway, let me grab Bozzy. How are you? A few of these. I just want to try it out just to see how it looks. If I can get it to open up here. And something else that I know most people constantly ask me, because as you notice, this is train track, so there is no solid floor. Yes, you can fill the floor in. You can quite simply use the ballasting technique that I've shown in previous videos for ballasting train track. And by doing that, it will fill in the train track holes itself. And then what you can do is you can tile along this piece here, and then you can fill this with various sized plates. So just wanting to let you know, because I know that is a very common question that I'm asked, that you can, yes, put a floor in it if you so wanted to have an interior in it. Me, when I'm doing builds like this, because these to me are just backdrop buildings. If you've watched my city update video that I posted, I believe it was the night before last, I was explaining a lot of different things and how I'm trying to do all these different builds to fill in and kind of hide the back wall, if you will. And part of the reason I'm doing that is quite simply, or with these buildings, is just quite simply to fill that space. So obviously I'm not worried at all about the inside of the buildings, because once they're together you can't tell anyway. But something else to point out, just a little trick, if you wanted to have some interior detail, kind of like I did on my Grand Hotel, you can put panels on the inside of here to block out certain windows, because then it gives it that lived-in look, like certain places have blinds closed and open. And I do have a video showing various types of blinds you can even design to put on the inside of a building. Stargazer says, very impressive way to do this. I'm so doing this with the train track. Bozzy says, morning, afternoon. Macro Brick says, all good, Daryl. Great day to you. Rob says, dark tan would work for a non-vibrant splash of color. I don't think there's part of the problem, and I need to make a video on that. I just finished a building using dark tan, so I really don't have much. I'm trying to, that's part of what my goal here is trying to force myself to use parts that I have on hand, because as a lot of you know, I made a huge order back, it was March 8th. I might just stick with white just to heck and say heck with it. I'm thinking in my head for a minute. Give me 1 second, guys. But I'm still waiting on an order I made from Lego from back in March 8th, and it's crazy to me that they have gotten so slow on shipping and everything. It's really horrible. It's supposed to be a better system, and to me it actually seems like it's worse, but it is what it is, and we all have to live with it, I guess. I am still trying to figure out what I want to do here, guys. I mean, it doesn't have to have color, and I do have a splash of color here already. And thank you, Lego Joe. You know what? Let's just heck with it. Let's run with it. Something I do want to try, though, I want to try a different design on the next row of windows and such, because I want to try a different technique. You know what? Let's just do it on this one, because I already have it down at this point. So let me pull this over here. And again, this is still kind of a trial and error thing that I'm currently doing. So nothing is like written in stone here or anything yet. I'm just trying to get a feel for it, trying to see what I can do with the parts I have on hand. And then if I have to order parts, it's not a big deal, but I'm trying to minimize the amount of parts that I may have to order. 1, 2, 3, I need to come out 6. So give me a second, because I just want to try something. Because I'm trying to avoid having to order a ton of parts in order to do this stuff. is what my primary goal is. And it's as far as certain parts go, I'll give you an example. I already have a huge abundance of certain parts, and that's what I'm trying to kind of focus the build on. And if I do this, and then I got 1x2s. That will work for that. I gotta grab a few more parts. Thank you, Rob. He says he saw the other apartment complex and it looks as good as this one, and I really appreciate that. Oh, I needed 1x2s. Forgot to grab the 1x2s. Here we go. So now what I'm hoping is by doing it this way, then I don't have to plate it as much. Then I can put those there. There, I like that. That'll work. I almost feel like I want to keep that white stripe. So let's see, let's pop this back down. That'll go there. I will come back to the comments momentarily. That was why I was doing the other piece, because I needed the point of clip. Ha ha ha. I could still do it, but I gotta change this up. So 1 second. Thank you, guys. I see that you are giving me all kinds of compliments. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Let's pull these off just so we can do. There, that gives us our point of attachment for that. Now we should be able to put that across and then run this piece over here. And we can put this back on there. Now it should all fit together and work the way that I was wanting. So that'll go there. And these will get re-supported this way. This will go here. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do this now, because I have a ton, and I mean a ton of these plates, so it will save me. It's another part it'll save me from having to order. That was my goal here. And then I also have a ton of windows already, so let me grab a few more windows. Another bag of windows. Yes, that is exactly what I was after, Stargazer. He said it reminds him of a wave from an ocean. And the idea from this is, honestly, it was, I follow this just to give you guys some ideas of where I get ideas. And you know what? Let me even show you if I can real quick, because I don't think a lot of people realize because I get a lot of inspiration from, quite simply, actual buildings that I see images of. So I'll give you a prime example as soon as I get it open. Because I follow a lot of different architectural people and such. And I want to share one of the people that I absolutely love that I follow on Instagram. And I am struggling to find... It should take... There we go. Let's see. Following... It'll take me just a minute to track his name down, because I follow a lot of different people. But I believe it's Uimi or Uami or something like that is one of the people that I follow. And this will give you an idea of where I get a lot of my inspiration from, because a lot of people always ask where the inspiration comes from a lot of my buildings, and it is usually from actual buildings that I find on my Instagram page and other places, because I do also follow a lot of different things on Pinterest as well. Pinterest is another great source of inspiration. It really, really is. And I gotta be getting close. I have a lot of people I follow, so bear with me. And you would think that they would put them in alphabetical order, but they do not. Doodle-doo. I'm starting to feel like I'm never going to find the guy. Yudioki, and he just posted a really cool building today too, and that was part of what I was trying to pull up here. Here it is. Let me let's see, pop this over just so you can see. This is Yimby, I guess is what you would say, but it's an architectural page, and he posts all different kinds. Here's what I mean. Look at these buildings. They are absolutely amazing. And I don't know if I would actually come across it, but I spend hours and hours just looking through all these different posts and all these different buildings. The multicolored building actually came from this person as well, and I tried to duplicate that particular building. But this particular building I'm working on right now, and I don't know if I'll come across it. I am trying to skim through as quickly as I can. But that is where the inspiration came, was from a building I saw on this particular individual's Instagram page. And I will come right back to the comments momentarily. I was trying to see if I could find that building for you, though, real quickly. What inspired me to even think about this and come up with it. And by the way, hey, Paul Bot, how are you doing? Come on, where's it at? Is that it? Nope, that's close. I got to be getting close. It wasn't, I know it was about midway down on some of his posts. But like I said, if you want inspiration for buildings, guys, this is how you do it. This, I mean, just, and what you do is you thumb through the buildings. Look at the buildings until something speaks to you. Because to me, I will kind of just look at buildings, and don't get me wrong, all these buildings look absolutely amazing, but I'll be skimming through, and then something will suddenly, like this. Let me pick that one just real quickly. I physically can see the Lego pieces here. I really can. And that is how I decide to pick something. When I see something and think, holy crap, I can use masonry bricks here. I can use some 1x4x5s here. I can do some white pillars with some, you know, just start looking at a build and start thinking about the parts that it would encompass to create that building. And that's where I get a lot of my thoughts. And I want to come back to building. I can't find that building. I will have to try and make a video and show you guys that sometime. But that is how I get a lot of my inspiration, is by looking at stuff like there. Oh, Bored with Brick says he saw it. Like I said, I was skimming through because I don't want to bore people with just looking at that kind of stuff all the time. So I usually try to fast forward through it, so to speak, when I'm doing it. But again, that's a great page to follow for inspiration. You will not regret it at all if you follow that page. I really, really promise you will be very helpful with that. And like I said, again, just look at the building. When you're staring at it, you know, a good example of when I'm doing something and I'm looking at it is if you see windows where, you know, maybe I should actually probably focus on doing a live stream about that someday for people that might be interested. But some buildings, when you look at them, it'll look like you have 4 windows. I hope you know what I mean by that. So if it has 4 windows, you could either use the 1x2x2s, and you could put them side by side, but you'd want the kind that are framed. So if it was a little 4-glass window with, say, white trim, you'd want to use the white framed pieces. If it was brown, you'd use the brown pieces, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different ways to accomplish a lot of different things, is what I'm really trying to make my point with. Let me put this back to white brick because I feel like that would look better, and it has that more oceanic look that everybody was talking about. So I'm going to put that back there. And I see a lot of people saying they love the top view. They saw it. Do you want me to, you know what? Let me lift the camera up because it might be better for you to see it that way. I thought the building technique might be better this way, but just for a little better perspective. That might help give you guys a better idea of the shape of the building so you can kind of see what's going on. And I know I already explained at the beginning how I came up with some of that, so I'm just going to kind of quickly keep rushing through a few things. Let me get this stuff back out of my way because I don't like it, I don't think. Let me get that out of my way, that out of my way, put these out of the way, and get that out of the way. I'm going to need those to stay. And I should be able to put another row of track on now. So we're going to grab our next piece of track. Before we do that, though, I have to run a row of plates. So I'm going to start putting my plates all the way across. And again, I have a ton of plates, so I have no fear of that. Lieutenant Dan Hooper. Say, I know I'm building. He asked if anybody else is building while they're watching. Crumpled Ford Explorer, he says he loves the use of the rails, and thank you so much. And that was where it was going to change, because the other thing I will tell you too is when you get the structure together, you will find, quite simply, that it is a lot stronger by using railroad track. There is something about the railroad track. I shouldn't say there's something about it. When you look at a piece of railroad track, and don't get me wrong, when there's nothing attached to it, it is a flimsy part. But when you look at railroad track, and that's why I use it in so many different builds, it's the roof of my train station. This is the main structure for the Jason Vincent Tower, or the football building, as some people lovingly call it. But it looks like, to me, and that's why I like using it, it's like looking at beams, ironwork inside of a building. And that is why I like using it so much, because once you get some stuff attached to it, this stuff gets so rigid. It makes for really strong structures. I can't stress that enough, how strong the structures actually are. And I need some of my white brick. I'm just going to grab a handful in case I need them. This piece goes there. These guys, nope. These go there. This is what I was talking about. You have to use the jumpers on the bottom as well, or on the top. So I'm going to put these jumpers in here. And then what we do in between there to hide that, we go like that. But there is some other work I have to do before I start hiding it. So let's just get the base filled in before I get too crazy. And put that there. And we will put this guy here and here. And we need one more right. I'm going to scoot that one back. Actually, that will not let me do that, so let's put that back up to the front. How do I want to do this? I will use a 1x3. That's what we'll do. We'll just cheat it that way. And then we will run this across. But you know what? Actually, what I want to do, I know what I want to do. I wanted to use a 1x6 there. That's what it was. So let's put that back. Let's get some 1x6 plates. I got a roll behind me. There we go. That, my friend, will be perfect. That's what I did. I was going to say, because that's stuck out a little further. This goes forward one. And then I lock that together with a tile. There we go. Now I'm cooking with Crisco. And we left that off because we had to have our connection point. So we got to put that back in. This is our connection point. Now we should be ready for the track. So now we're going to take this and just slowly start applying it. And as you can see, it's already getting extremely rigid as I move along. And you have to wiggle it around a little bit to do it. There we go. But once you get it all locked down, I just knocked my balcony lights off. There we go. But once you get it all locked in, again, it really strengthens the build. Hey, Papa's Bricks, how you doing? Board with bricks says very organic looking. It also says better than square. Philippe says, I love some of the non-orthodox uses of rail curves, from roof structures to signage. I've saw lots of different inspirations for it. And he says, Lieutenant Dan gave him an idea. No interior plans for it. This is just a background building. Mark Bennett says, yes, go for it. And Aaron says, that's not going, no, it is not going anywhere. And then to increase, and again, it's like I said, it gets really strong as you're doing it. And that's one of the things that is so amazing about the train track. For anybody that doesn't know, because I used to be into auto body mechanics and all that kind of good stuff. And that was one of the things they taught us in auto body, is the more curves and bends you can put into something. In this case, we got our bends here. The stronger you will make a build or something, stick together. Now, to me, I find it easier, just to explain what I'm doing, to put the plates, because they're so small in between the tracks. I find it easier to use a stack of bricks and to put the plate on the bottom of it, just to smack it into place, because sometimes they can be a bit of a stickler to go into place. And that is quite simply why I use them, because it can be kind of a fight trying to pop it in just with your bare fingers. So doing this and just putting the plate on the bottom can be a real big help. Redcoat Kyle, how are you, my friend? And thank you so much, Papa's Bricks, for being such a long member. Papa's Bricks has been a member now for 10 months. Thank you, Mark. He says something with personality and challenging. Oops, that one didn't stay on. That's another thing. When you're doing it, just kind of roll it forward so it doesn't stay. on your pile of plates. I hope you guys can see that, because I was trying to keep the camera in a reasonable angle for you to see what I had going on here. And again, if you have very nimble fingers, I mean, you can get them on. It's just, for me, this is an easier technique. Aaron says he gets sore fingers with Lego. Philippe says maybe the only one bad side of this method is that you can't focus much on the interior. Actually, you believe it or not, you can put a lot of focus on the interior if you wanted to, but to me, it's not worth it. This particular building, if you were to try and sit and accumulate all the parts to build this as I'm building it, just the structure, because I'm going to be doing this probably close to 12 stories tall, just this particular structure, though, would cost you in the neighborhood of $2,000. And that is where I always try to get people to think a little bit. And here's what I mean by when I say think a little bit. A lot of people think that you have to have a full interior in every building, and there's no need in the world to do that. Because 9 times out of 10, once you build the building and you put it all together, you're never going to see the inside details. It's really not worth the added expense. With this building costing $2,000, I'll guarantee you if you tried to put a full detailed interior in it, that you're going to double the cost of the building and make it about $4,000. Normally, a lot of times, when you start worrying about doing the interior details of a building, it usually triples, sometimes even more than triples, the cost of your building. And that's why I say it's not worth it. For a $2,000 building, for something that I'm just using as a backdrop, it is not worth it. It's a huge, huge waste of money. And most people, in my opinion, that always talk about interiors are generally people that have never done a very large building, so they don't really have a conception to what the expenses would be. So I understand it, but when you start building really big buildings, you realize that the expenses add up extremely quickly. Brick Sargent is saying, Daryl, I think I found the building pic. Oh, did you? Can you send it to on? Let me see it. Put it on Discord, and I will open up Discord. And if that is it, I will put Discord on. Put it in Discord general or bronze chat if you can, and then I will share it, so that way everybody else can see it. Because I'm curious to see if you found it. 12 stories, is that the tallest in my city? The tallest building, technically, the tallest, I shouldn't say technically, the tallest building is my Avengers Tower, but it's technically only 8 stories tall, and it's because each story is about the equivalent of 3 stories, but I did it that way in order to be able to incorporate the details that I have into it. And keep in mind, my Avengers Tower is 5 feet in height, so it's not a little building by any means of the word. And I am trying to watch to see if you post that and get in there. Over here, and this is what helps lock everything into place. And then again, that's what I was telling oh, we got to put these in first. Once you get this placed, what am I messing up here? I am messing something up. No, that's what it is. I was forgetting where the jumper went. That's what it is. So the jumper goes there. And then we put our 1x3 in front of that, because we want to keep that nice smooth column. Now we take some 2x3s and we start stacking them on there. And Aaron says he agrees as well as far as not doing the interiors. And like I said, I get why people want them. It's a lot of fun to do them. It's a lot of fun to add a lot of the details. And Matthew, thank you so much for joining my membership. And real quickly, I just want to say, being a new member, first of all, thank you. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the Funny Farm. But don't forget to go to community tabs, and you will see a link in order for you to be able to get into Discord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that will give you your access. And once you're in, myself or PaulBot1 will make sure that you get your correct assignment of bronze. So thank you so much. No, that is not the building that I was referring to, Brick Sergeant, but that is a very cool building to say the least. Just to show you what he's talking about. And again, that's why I say I follow that page, because I just want to show you guys real quickly what Brick Sergeant shared. This is the building that he was thinking it was, but no, it should be way, way down. And if I remember correctly, I want to say, trying to remember, I want to say it wasn't an actual building. I believe it was an architectural draft of a building. So you have to look at the architectural drafts of the buildings as well in order to be able to find it. But no, I see where you get the idea that that is part of the building, though. I definitely understand where you're at with that. And thank you, Cameron. He says a very cool design. And again, for those that are just signing in, I am just I'm playing around, doing a little bit of filler, just because I want to see what this will look like with several stories attached. Because it'll give me, to me, it always gives me a better perspective once I see a bunch of floors together. Because sometimes I don't like things when I first see them designed. And once I start seeing them put together with a bunch of different floors, it gives me a better feel, a better vibe of the building. Hey DJ, how are you, my friend? But again, Brick Sergeant, if you're still looking, it should be an I want to say, I mean, don't get me wrong, their architectural drawings are extremely impressive. So it almost looks like an actual building. But I want to say there was an aerial photo of it, and it shows it's in an S shape. And Philippe was saying that they have a similar building structure but different look in Sao Paulo called Copen. That would be interesting to see. Thank you so much, Matthew. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. He says, love the channel and keep up the great work. And again, thank you so much. And I'm not even going to worry, because I have glass in the first 2 floors. I'm not going to be too worried about the glass in here. I'm just trying to get a few floors added to get a little flavor of if I really, really like this or not. Just so everybody knows where I'm at. Let's see. This needs these. Because once I know that I like it, what I'm going to do is go back and redo some of the building, because I'm going to do it per floor as I go. So I hope I'm not breaking up. For those that do not know, though, I do have some struggles with my internet, so I apologize in advance. But I don't see any blips on my end right now. 6. Get. Well, that's a bad brick. That's melted. Yeah, that's normal. That happens in my streams all the time, and it's because I live in the country. And I have Elon Musk's internet. It's the best thing and the only thing available where I currently live. Thank you, Josh. He says it's great to see you producing again. I am breaking this down so I can steal these bricks. 34. And I focus on doing the tips and tricks during my live streams now. I found that's a lot better because my tips and tricks videos I won't be doing ever again. And the reason that I say that is they get the absolute worst views out of any video that I do. And that's why I just simply don't do them anymore. And I always find it funny because the most popular YouTube channels out there don't do any of that. All they do is build sets and talk to people. And they are huge channels. Yes, Jack, I do use Starlink. DJ says, Daryl throws brick on floor and Paul Bot faints. And part of my problem with getting these windows is I have an old building that I need to demolish still, and I'm slowly demolishing it to get the windows out of it. But I need to sit down and actually pull this building apart and get all these pieces that I could use out of here. But it's not even that, too. A lot of, yes, aka the disco screen, yes. That's when it starts to break up, that's what everybody always calls it, is the disco screen. But part of the thing, too, with why I've cut back on a lot of different videos, and I'm trying to ramp back up a little bit, but there for the longest time, I was trying to make YouTube where I could possibly maybe quit my day job and make this like a full-time thing. And I don't see it. I don't see it ever happening. I don't see the possibility of it, especially with the size of my channel. With larger channels like Brixie and stuff like that, I guess I could see how they're doing it. I don't know what they make. But I decided because I was driving myself into the ground, constantly trying to make sure I had a video every single day and trying to live stream all the time and being super interactive. And I found by pulling back a little bit, I'm a lot happier. So I'm trying to re-gear myself and treat this more as a hobby instead of a job, because it was wearing me out and making me hate Lego. So I've pulled back on a lot of things that I was doing, just if nothing else, quite simply for my own mental health and sanity. And I know some people don't get that, but I mean, it is what it is. Because unfortunately, like I said, the most popular Lego channels out there have nothing to do with tips and tricks, and all they do is they build sets and go, ooh, wow, look at this, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm not quitting, because that was something I know I made a video early on in the year too, where I was saying that I had set a goal of hitting 52,000 by the end of the year. And what I've decided now is I'm not even going to worry about that goal. Like I said, again, I'm just going to get back to building, doing what I enjoy, having fun doing it, and just focus on what makes me happy. And if it happens, it happens, and if it don't, it don't. And again, like I said, I feel a lot happier with my new attitude towards it. So even if I don't hit 50,000 by the end of the year, I don't care. I'm still going to be building stuff and still sharing videos. So that's all that matters. And Sean Bauer says a happy builder is a better builder. And absolutely, I agree. Michael was saying quality over quantity. Absolutely, my friend. And he said never give up. Stargazer says soon we will all have Starlink. You know what? I like it. Let me say that first. Because, again, where I live, it's not an option at all for anything else. So I'm very grateful to have Starlink. And mind you, I've had Starlink even when they first started out, when it was still in the beta testing. So I've had it for a while now. And I have seen improvements going as it's going along. And I can tell you, do I want to worry about that? No, I'm not even going to worry about that for now. I can tell you that, like I said, that I have noticed drastic improvements. But I can also tell you that I've noticed some declines and some problems and some other things with it too. But all in all, I'm still very grateful to have it, because the best internet I had here where I live now, before Starlink anyway, was quite simply, it was my cell phone. I had a cell phone. What the heck is it called? It's sitting over there. I don't even use it anymore. But it was through AT&T, mobile modem, I guess would be the correct term for it. But it used your cell phone signal, because prior to that, there is no wired connections coming to my house. There is no cable. There is no DSL. There's nothing like that at all. So, and I used to stream with that. But the thing was I always had to stream at like 320 quality. So the stream quality was absolutely horrible. I mean, horrible. Very grainy. So there's another big improvement that I got by picking up Starlink. But I know, like I said, a lot of people don't realize, because I live out in the sticks. I have 9 acres. I don't have any neighbors. I have very few neighbors anyway. But I like living this way. I have a lot more freedom. When I need to use the restroom, I can just go outside and kind of pee behind the barn type of thing. You know what I mean? Hope that didn't gross anybody out. Mobile hotspot. Yes, thank you, Griffin Ness. That was my internet before I got Starlink. That was the only internet I had available, was a mobile hotspot. And even with the mobile hotspot, my internet sucked. And the reason that I say that is because, and I'm trying to remember what I wanted to do this. Give me 1 second. Reason I say that is because a lot of people always question, why don't you get this? Why don't you do that? And it's like, my option is, I actually have a couple options, because I'm sure a lot of people have heard of HughesNet. And hold on 1 second. Because I did try HughesNet too. I called it huge crap, but that was one of the worst internet services I personally ever saw. I thought it was absolutely garbage myself, but that was an option, was HughesNet. I did have that for a short time, and it was worse than the mobile hotspot. I mean, it was absolutely horrific. So it was HughesNet. It was Viasat. I had that for a short time. That was garbage. Starlink or the mobile hotspot. The mobile hotspot was the best thing until I was able to get onto the program with the Starlink. And I tell you what, I have never regretted it and never looked back. Even though it still has blips and bumps and all that good stuff. For people like me that live out in the country, it is a godsend, because I couldn't even stream a movie with any of the services I had before. I could do it with the cell phone service, but I couldn't do it with HughesNet or Viasat. And what it was, because a lot of people say, well, how's that? Because they swear you can. And you could stream, but the problem is because I have a family of 5. It's me, my wife, and my 3 kids. And the problem was, within 2 days, we'd use up our data limit, and then you were waiting for 30 days for your internet to speed back up so you could actually do stuff again. And that's why HughesNet and Viasat suck so bad. And this corner is not wanting to click together. How near is the closest Lego store for me? It is about a 2-hour drive for me. Michael was saying you were out one night last summer catfishing, and he was out one night catfishing, seen a long stream of satellites over 100. They just did that. It's funny because a lot of people were kind of in a panic here where I live in Michigan. And I want to say you could see it all over the nation. It wasn't just here, but I think it was, because I was going to try and do a live stream. It was either Friday or Saturday. And my internet just would not work at all. And I couldn't figure out why. And then we happened to go outside and look up, and we could see these funky little stream of lights in the sky. And happened to look on the news, because we weren't the only ones that saw it. There were people seeing it everywhere. We went on, I think my wife went on one of her Facebook pages that she belongs to. And come to find out that it was Elon Musk. That was he just released another 50 satellites. So, that particular night when he released them, I had no internet, or at least it was very limited. But it only takes usually a day for it to get back in focus. But that screwed me out of being able to live stream one night. Thank you, Stargazer. Yes, a router. Mobile hotspot is actually what it is, but the correct term probably is a router. Do I like camping? Not so much anymore. I used to like it when I was younger. My back and everything can't take it though now. But I still have all my cots and all that stuff. I do love the outdoors, and I like to spend a lot of time outside, though. It's like I have my own little pond, and I have my own fish, and we have a lot of critters that run around the yard. And what's nice about it, because I have the property, is they're not pets. I just throw food out in the yard, and the critters come to eat. And I see, like on my property, I see fox, I see deer, I see rabbits, I see just, you pretty much name it. I see it strolling through the yard. But it's very serene being able to live on property like I do. Matthew is asking what I'm building, and this is going to be another skyscraper that I'm working on to try and fill the skyline at the back of the table. I'm not worried about floors at all, Masoon, but I did explain earlier in the stream how you can add floors if you wanted to. I'm personally not adding any floors to it, but it can be done. Oh my God, man. Yes, Stargazer, it is incredibly fast. I have a second channel. I don't post a lot on it, but I do post now and then. And on that channel, I do a review of Starlink because I show the upload speeds and whatnot. And mind you, that video I think is, I want to say it might be 2 years old. So it's an older video. I haven't, you know what, I need to do an update to that just to kind of show people where the current limits and such are. And let me stand up because that popped loose. But I need to do an update video just to kind of show people where it's at and if it's still as good or if it got worse and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I need to do here soon. And get that on there. That gets all that. So we can put another row of plates. Do I own a telescope? Yes, I do. It is in the house, and it's funny because a lot of the recording I do is actually my telescope's tripod. A lot of the video recording I do, I use the tripod for my telescope. And it is some beautiful skies. It's especially in the summer when it's clear. As you know, because Steve lives here in Michigan where I do as well. And man, we have a very long, gloomy winters. And they're beyond long and gloomy. But during the winter, I can't really see much. But in the summer, when we start getting some of the clearer skies, I can see a lot. And man, it is some beautiful skies. You are absolutely correct, buddy. Mega Dave, how you doing? And thank you so much. He says, love the shirt. He is referring, for those that didn't see it, he's referring to my Megadeth shirt. I want these, and I need one more jumper. Excuse me. There we go. And then we run some more brick to hide the ugly behind it. So we want to keep a nice fluent look. We put some 1x3s here, some 1x2s in the middle. And thank you, Paulbot. Paulbot's saying, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button, as it does help my channel. It helps in recommendations and so many other things. So it really does help me in a lot of ways. So with the 71 people watching, please don't forget to mash that like button. I really do appreciate it if you can. And I need some more 2x2 bricks. Got to get my bricking together. Well, there we go. Now we're up to 45 likes. Thank you, guys. That is awesome of you. Now I got to rob some more parts. Got to keep robbing Peter to pay Paul. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. You like that, Paul? You saw Michael was saying he saw Megadeth twice in Hawaii years ago. Small venues, jumped on stage to do a stage dive and got stopped mid-stage, and he shook your hand. Well, that was cool of him to shake your hand. What I was really bummed about, Steve was saying winter is excellent for spotting the Andromeda Galaxy. He said he saw it a couple times at his parents' house out in South Lyon many years ago. What I was going to say is something that's usually really good for out where I'm at is being able to catch, when it happens anyway, the Northern Lights. I've seen it twice since I've been out here. Unfortunately, the most recent time, the skies were super gloomy, so I didn't see it at all. But to be able to see the Northern Lights this far south is a pretty amazing feat, to say the least. Get these guys in. Get this in. Oh, let me go double check. I had to close that down so I could see the comments. No, but it almost looks exactly like that, Brick Sergeant. That is very it's a drawing like that, but the building itself is taller. And if I remember correctly, again, I don't think it has the balconies on the ends. I think what it actually does is it kind of curves like this and then curves a little bit more. I hope you can see what I'm kind of saying. But that is a very good example. It's a very good example for those that are curious to what we are talking about. Let me just show you really quick. This is what Brick Sergeant was referring to. But that is an extremely good example of why I'm getting the idea of the curves. And let me get that back. Where did it go? How do I... There we go. Papa's Brick says his wife wants to see the Northern Lights. You, correct me if I'm wrong, Papa's Bricks, you guys are in Texas, aren't you? So, yeah, you'd have to come way north to see that. Paul says we're at 57. We're getting there. Referring to the number of likes. And James Jackson, how are you? He says, loving the look of the building. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. John Victura, how are you doing, my friend? He says, all of your 3D designs for this project translated over to the real work. Oh, no. Actually, I mean, I did do some 3D designs. I did a real basic design of this building, actually. I changed a few things compared to that 3D design. But the original idea actually came from, and that's what Brick Sergeant is actually trying to find for me. The original design for this actually came from a post on a page that I follow on Instagram. Michael was saying with all the solar flares lately, they have been dropping further south. Supposedly you can see them now in northern Idaho. Really? I didn't know you could see them that far down. That's crazy. It's a nice rare feature for people to be able to see it, though. Good evening, Brett. How are you? He says his sister lives in Alaska for a few years and got to see the northern lights up there quite often. I know that had to be a beautiful view. The last time that I saw it, I don't know, it's breathtaking. It just looks like a bunch of big green streaks floating through the sky. But I absolutely love seeing it when it does happen. No problem, Matthew. Take care, and we will see you again soon, buddy. I hope you have a good night, my friend. That's why I was trying to start my stream a little earlier. I'm going to start when I can anyway, because I still can't stream every day. I've been doing a lot around my house and whatnot, but when I do stream, I am trying to kind of stream a little bit earlier in the day, if I can help it anyway, just because I know it does help other people to be able to catch the streams. Not only just, all of our not only all of our regular members, but people in other area codes and whatnot, or not area codes, but other areas anyway as well. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Philippe. But here lately, you have been able to see a lot of that. It's kind of crazy. Because here, I live in Michigan, and I've seen them a few times over the last couple of years. And good morning to you, Cam Jizz from Melbourne, Australia. Love the last name, the Jizz. Get that and this. Yeah, I think I've got a winner for how I'm going to do this now. Because this seems to flow real easily doing it this way. To me, anyway. So I think this is the method of madness I am going to continue to use. Because as you can see, I've actually got a lot already up and assembled, so we're actually moving along pretty well. I got to get some more plates. So I don't see any anywhere. Or tiles, I should say. Let me get one more row of this on. Just get it up on top, and I think I might call it a night, guys. Let's see how this looks, though. That way I can hold it up and show you a side view of it. But like I said, this in part is why I'm doing this, because it's funny. A lot of times you will start to design and build something, and until you kind of actually see it, a few floors put together, it doesn't always seem fruitful, I guess would be a good way to put it, until you actually start getting it together. And then it's like, wow, it brings it through to give you a better appeal. But just to show you guys what we have here, and mind you, I got to do the backside still too, so this building is going to take quite a while. But I just bumped the mic. But just so you can see it from the side, that would be the side view. So it has a nice beachy vibe, I guess would be a good way to put it, because again, the particular building that I got the idea from is a building that is in Florida. It's supposed to be scheduled to be built in Florida anyway. So that's what gave me the idea for this funky, sweeping looking image of a building. Oh, I didn't think of that, Michael. You're absolutely correct. He says with the magnetic North Pole moving all the time, it's dropping the northern lights as well. I didn't even think of that, so you are absolutely right, my friend. No, I'm going to do the front and back side, and both ends will have a balcony. What my intention for tonight was, because I know I don't have the parts to actually fully build this building. Let me say that first. But what my intention, and that has to get put there. Part of my intention is just to come up with the best building method I can come up with when I'm doing stuff like this. Just to see what parts I have on hand and what I can make work with the parts that I have on hand. So that was kind of my goal for the night, was just to see if I was going to have enough parts on hand to make it something that's going to happen. And I can already tell you I have to order some 2x2 white bricks unless I change up these two stripes here. I think I might need to order some 2x3s, but I should have plenty of the 2x4s. And the 2x4s go here on the end and on the other end. And then what I'm doing here, just to show you, at the very end, I'm using the, it's a textured brick. I call it the Palisade Brick, I do believe. But I'm using these just to add a bit of texture on either end. And I have a ton of these, so I'm good on those. I think it's 300 of these pieces, so I'm good on those. I've got a couple thousand of various plates, so I'm good on those. I may have to order some train track. Like I said, I got to order some 2x2s and some 2x3 brick. And this building should be able to become an absolute reality. So I'm hoping that'll come through anyway. And thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate that. He says, looking amazing so far. Yes, I've heard that as well, that the North and South poles are supposed to be flipping. And how you doing, Prop Pig? And you know, the absolute worst thing you can ever do when you come into somebody's channel, Prop Pig, is to come in and start self-promoting yourself. Not only is it rude and obnoxious, it'll actually get you kicked a lot of times from most people's channels. So I really don't recommend you do that. I don't think the polls will do it in our lifetime either, Paul, but we'll see. You know, it would happen so slowly. I don't see it, like I said, sticking along that way. Mark says it could be in Barcelona perfectly. Philippe says, yep, just one side is enough, and see how it looks. It's great, and thank you. I appreciate that, Philippe. Ingrid says, Pick a Brick Wall has great parts, and I need to get to my local Pick a Brick Wall. I have not been in a while. It's such a long drive for me. I hate doing it. No, it's no problem. That's why I said I don't want to beat you up, but I just want to let you know that will get you even kicked from some people's channels. So I just trying to teach you a little bit of etiquette. That's all, my friend. Mark was saying looks very versatile, and thank you, Mark. Paul Bot was saying some Pick a Brick Walls are great, others not so much. Mine usually is not so great, sadly, and that's why I really don't bother to go as much as I used to. But I do know that most people's Pick a Brick Walls were absolutely horrible there for quite a while. And I've been hearing a lot of good things about various Pick a Brick Walls, so it's been getting me to want to go to mine. I haven't taken the opportunity or the plunge to do it just yet. Anyway, though, guys, DJ says he wanted to watch the toilets flush the opposite direction. Anyway, though, guys, I do need to get off here because that was part of my intention as to starting so early tonight, even though I know it wasn't super early. It was early compared to what I've been doing lately. So I like to end all my live streams with rolling that beautiful bean footage and giving a very special thank you to any subscribers and super chatters. And tonight I want to give a very special thank you to Brick Sargent. I want to give a very special thank you to the new subscribers, Mark Spencer and Adam Birdsey. And also to my members, Art Claxton, Papa's Bricks, and Matthew Vanderall. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And I can't promise that I will be on live tomorrow, but I will try to start maintaining my Wednesday streams, absolutely. So if I can, I will see you tomorrow night, but if not, I will see you Wednesday night. And as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below. And hopefully you all have a great night, and we'll see you next time on Bevan's Bricks. Have a blessed day, everybody.